Hello everyone. My name is Zelda. I am here to commentate in the name of DT versus Gem. And, hey good, my push step is working. Fantastic. Okay, so escape happened. We're done. Both these runners very close. Both these runners, probably slightly more well known for their randomizer exploits. But both, Gem I know has a great time in NMG actually. I actually don't know where DT lands there. Oh, and hey look, there's the PBs for that group posted. Actually, DT also has a fantastic time. A 1-3x is nothing to scoff at, honestly. With PBs that close, anything could really happen in this one. So we are now moving into Eastern Palace. So Eastern Palace being probably one of the simpler dungeons, obviously being the first, but there is a trick or two that we do. Shortly we'll be doing a trick to spawn only 2 skeletons instead of 4 in a room, and then we'll be doing a damage boost to get an item. I see both have Sanctuary Heart, which makes that damage boost a lot easier to do. You have a bit of room for error. If you don't take the Sanctuary Heart, you have no room for error for that trick. Gem getting the trick, and so does DT. So as you can see there, if you step on a specific tile, when the 4 skeletons spawn, 2 of them spawn inside of different areas. So one will spawn inside the pot, and the game won't let it spawn. The other will spawn inside the wall, again, won't let the skeleton actually spawn. So by doing that, you only have to kill 2 out of 4 skeletons. And skeletons have completely random movement and are quite annoying to kill because they run away from your sword. We're able to just kill the 2 with really quick pot throws. You're seeing that the runners are going to be using a combination of the boomerang and the sword to get rid of these enemies. That's pretty common. The boomerang, I believe, in some cases is faster if the enemy is right in front of you than it even is to slash with the sword. I'm not sure on that. It might actually be the same amount of time. I don't know exact frame information like that. And there's the big key now for both runners. Gonna go pick up their bow with that. Obviously, I'm gonna go all the way around, then have to go circle back into the main room. You need that bow to kill the mimics and the boss. You'll also see that they're gonna pick up some extra pots along the way to get some extra arrows. Because they need, I believe it is 18 arrows optimally. Gem going for the kill on the side. Same with DT. Yeah. In that room, you will notice that. Sorry, the audio on my end. Okay. Yeah. So moving on through shooting the arrows. In that room with the 2 bouncing anti-fairies, if you pick up the pots the way that Gem did, they'll never hit you. It looks like a spooky room, but they always move the same way. So those anti-fairies will never hit you. Gem setting up for the quick kill. So what you want to do here is you want to hit 5 arrows to the right. You want to just fire your arrows down like this. If you do it right, Gem unfortunately missed it slightly, you will be able to kill the Armos Knights with fewer arrows than normal, and you can see there. Normally, one will turn red, which will refill its health, but if you do what DT did, the last one will die before it turns red, which saves you some time. Because the red one's pattern is a little bit annoying to deal with. We'll now be picking up the most famous item in this game, most probably boots, or otherwise known as the Pegasus boots. These are the item that lets us dash very fast. It'll also allow us to perform a few minor glitches, and if we were playing a major glitch category, would basically be the entire purpose of this run. So the first glitch is spin speed. How you do it is you hold your sword out to spin, and then you release the spin, and then the frame after you release the spin, you have to dash. So the way that most people do is by sliding their controller just a little bit. They slide their hand across the controller, and that allows you to do it in one frame. If you do that and then hit the staircase, you basically keep your spin speed throughout the entire time. And Gem launched on the bush there, which is always a little awkward. Not get in. Launch on the bush there screws up the movement on that screen quite a bit. DT stopping before he bonks. You want to hit, if you're at the top of that screen, if you enter the screen at the top, you won't bonk into that, you can dash straight through it like Gem did. So they are picking up their foot, which allows them to open up the Desert Palace. And later will allow them to get the Ether Tablet. Let's go in for the trickier spin speeds. Okay, and now doing overall movement, which is, for some people, the hardest part of the game. Memorizing the overall movement is quite difficult, especially with how many enemies there are in some of these sections. So I know a lot of people struggle with that. The desert is always interesting because it's so samey looking that remembering where to go can be pretty hard. Test. Hopefully that works. I was commentating so much there. Apparently none of it was audible. Hey, moving into desert. This place is very satisfying in my opinion, movement-wise, because it's just a lot of straight dashing and a lot of memorizing those dashes. There's a lot of tight-looking, well, dashes. I say dashes a lot. There's a lot of tight dashing that you can do here that looks like you shouldn't be able to do. Like Gem avoided it, but if you dash correctly on that screen, the screen before the screen going down to the exit, you can slip past that sand guy just barely. You'll see DT do it here. You can slip past the sand guy. It's very tight timing. Okay, so the probably the hardest boss coming up. Not the hardest, but the most annoying to optimize is coming up right here. And that will be Lamolith. The reason why is because it's very difficult to predict what Lamolith... Oh, very nice D-dash from Gem. Lamolith can be very difficult to predict because there's no real way to, well, predict the movement. They'll just kind of move where they want, and you have to adapt to it. So you'll see even the best runners get very, very bad patterns and be unable to capitalize on the pattern given. So you're seeing Gem miss first hit there and get a few hits with arrows. Yeah, you'll see you want to basically combine arrow hits with sword hits. Gem's very low on health. That's very careful here. Don't want to get hit by any of these errant rocks. Playing it very dangerously too. Okay. And then you have to be very careful here. You have to stand slightly to the side of this bus. And they're both on... Wow, DT is playing this fight very well. And they are basically tied. Is this better? Hello, hello? So DT and Gem are basically tied, although it's... Oh, wow. No, Gem... Yeah, DT is just a little bit ahead of Gem here. Okay, so we are off, and both have picked up the old man. We can't dash with the old man. That's why they're not dashing right now. The old man fence us. Well, we can dash, but we can't. It's slower than walking, which is hilarious. Or it's the same speed as walking, one of the two. But I actually think it might be slower. I don't know. But this gets us to the mirror, which is very useful. So we're going to see probably the bigger use of spin speed right here from DT and Gem. Death Mountain is definitely where you save the most time with spin speed, because there isn't very many optimal dash lines here. You have to do a lot of stopping. So keeping spin speed across all of these lines. Alright, so we're going to use the mirror here. You can also use the boomerang here, but the Moldorm can get in the way, which is very, very, very annoying. If you've ever tried to do the boomerang strat and had the Moldorm just sit in front of you. So we're just going to see the runners do their own thing here. Some runners like to run around with the pot. Some runners like to do spin, or sorry, pokes with the practice their dash pokes, like DT is. Some runners will do the boomerang strat, and they will do a boom dash, and they will land on the other side. It saves a little bit of time if you get it right, and it gives you an input rate. Very good. Yeah, pot strats. A lot of people like to run around with the pot. Some people like to spin, like to practice poke dashing. Poke dashing is actually a really good skill to get good at too. So that's actually a useful time. You're basically practicing a strat for a later boss while in a dungeon during your speed run, which is kind of neat. Generally, having the boomerang out, though, is the best idea. Okay, so here's the bomb dash, or sorry, bomb jump. So you have 2 pixels if you do it. You have 2 pixels to do that if you do not bomb, but you have 6 if you bomb. So you'll see a lot of people do the bomb there. There's a lot of different ways to set it up. The way I like to do it is if you look, you can't really see it on, you might be able to see it on these streams, but on that floor there are faces, what I like to call faces on the ground. And if you can see half of its mouth, yeah, if you can see half of its mouth, you actually get, you have to bomb dash. But if you can see its whole mouth, you don't have to bomb. Sorry, you don't have to dash. And I'm still jumbled. It's early in the morning. Okay. And with that, we now have Master Sword. We can move on to Agenum. So we're just also doing some tech support, and grabbing the mushroom probably means that he's gonna grab the powder, but that's actually not even a guarantee anymore. Some people are skipping that, so. Because there's a glitch where you can use powder without having the powder. Both runners have the money that they'll need when they get to Dark World as well. And now with Ice Towers, probably one of the more technical parts of the game. And can be quite difficult to learn quickly. And DT slightly ahead. So I've actually missed the blue balls, but there's a very good chance that the race could completely change here with them entering so close. Looks like DT is getting quite a few though. And it looks like they're both going to oh. Oh, DT's the first out of the fight. So how many extra? So that's one already on Gem. So what Gem has had to sit through one extra attack. So only 2 extra attacks. And now into Dark World. Now this is where the game goes into overdrive. So for the first few dungeons, we're actually going to be slightly under-equipped, but once we've beaten the first 2 Dark World dungeons that we will be somewhat over-equipped, especially depending on what kind of safeties the runners go for. And just seeing some good overworld movement here. Again, with how close their PBs are, 129 versus a 135. Honestly, this is anyone's game, just based on PBs alone. If DT's been improving at all from his, from that PB, and if Gem is even a little bit rusty on some of these fights, this could be right down to the wire. Oh wow, DT even has a better time than before. So yeah, this is very easy. With just a 3-ish minute difference between the two runners, this is honestly anyone's game. Really is. DT grabbing the basement key, so that pretty much says that he's going to do hammer yum. It actually doesn't. That's not what matters for doing hammer yump or not, but is the optimal way to do it. You do a lot of mirroring in this dungeon. It's just the optimal way. Oh, it gets pushed back a little bit by the bomb. DT grabbing the key there in the last part, so they'll be hammer yumping in just a moment. So hammer yump is a use of a bomb jump that is quite complicated. It's pretty much frame or pixel perfect. You have very little room for error. Ooh, and DT reset in the glitch, realizing that he had done it, that he didn't have enough time. But he has the door open, so that's what matters. Just trying to get on the right pixel. You do diagonals to kind of get in the right spot, and then you do pause buffering to get yourself in the right spot. There's a lot of ways to set this up. So Gem pulling a little bit ahead by having a cleaner hammer yump. But you can do this like... You have a lot of time to do that trick compared to the proper way. Because doing it the proper way is like 45 seconds slower, something close to that, 30 seconds slower. Both of them have their sword beams going into this room, so that makes it a little bit faster. Oh, DT messing up the statue just a teeny bit. DT grabbing extra arrows there. I wonder if that means he's going to use arrows on Helmasaur instead of hammer and slashes. I'm doing the sword out strat, and that was really good. That was really good RNG on Helmasaur, moving right up against it like that. So it's a spin slash Oh, misses the second spin. Gets a hammer in there. And down. Less good patterns from DT on DT's side. You really want to get in that spin, by the way. That spin saves a lot of time. Good second phase RNG, though. And now we're going to move on. So our next objective is to beat Thieves Town. The reason why is we need the Titan's Mitt so that we can get the Tempered Sword. Yeah, this race is very close. There are a lot of ways to lose time in this game, so we'll see. It really only takes one bad death for a runner for it to switch, or a boss just really giving the finger to somebody. So, now we watch this little cutscene here with the flute playing, and then we move on. So we need to be in Light World because we want to activate the flute. Some runners will then take this time to grab the powder, but we'll see what DT does. Again, he might use the fake powder glitch instead. So, don't know that yet. Even though he picked up Mushroom, doesn't mean that we know what his route is going to be. DT taking a few tries to get the spin speed there, which is allows you to get past Usain Bolt. The red guard there that really tries to mess you up. And yeah, he is getting the powder regularly. So with the powder, probably people's favorite safety item, probably the most useful one. It allows you to turn the bunny beans and the anti-fairies into regular fairies. And considering how many there are in Dark World dungeons, it really just allows you to feel just a little bit more at ease. DT is only about half this dungeon behind. He's honestly about behind that Get in the Safety was. So we'll see. How did Jim get ahead? Just better fight, better Helmasaur fight, better movement, better hammer jump, and then DT got powder. But honestly, DT's catching up regardless of the powder thing. So. DT and Jim are honestly very well matched. So. DT's movement is nothing to scoff at. Gem going into blind with 4 hearts. Now that seems a little bit scary considering blind deals 2 contact damage. But with the strategies that we employ on this boss, generally you don't get hit at all. And if you do, it's usually from an errant ball of fire. There's a way to have this fight happen the same way every single time. And there it is. Scripted blind fight out of DT. Sorry, Gem. And second crystal in hand. Titan's Mitts from the basement. We'll be moving on to doing a little bit of side questing. Get the Tempered Sword before we go to our next boss. The Tempered Sword is very, very important for this entire game. It drastically increases the damage you do against most enemies, and allows you to do a few quick kills on some of the later bosses. Most notably, the normally second, or what the game wants to be the second boss, Argus. So Jim will be picking up the frog over here, who happens to be a wonderful blacksmith who has a brother sitting in Light World. DT manages to not get hit, doesn't keep the fight scripted, but still very good. And Tempered Sword in hand, DT is honestly not too far away. Grabbing some extra money because he needs it. You need 600 rupees, or you need 500 rupees to beat the game. And conveniently enough, there are 600 rupees in this town, as long as you have picked up the blue boomerang. The only annoying thing about rescuing the Spotsmith is you have to enter his house, then leave his house. Then you have to enter his house, move a little bit inside of his house so he moves over there. Then you have to leave the house and enter it again. Then you have to talk to him when you enter it again, leave the house again, go into Dark World, then go back into Light World, and then he'll talk to you. And then you get your sword back. Gem with a very good bomb jump there. Gonna drop in the hole just to teleport a little bit faster. It's faster than bonking and then walking. DT getting his last bit of money. Gem moving on to finish the dungeon. Gonna grab up this extra key right here because you need at least one extra key. Fire Snake didn't really cooperate in that room. Sometimes you can just key dash all the way into the door in that room, but unfortunately that was not on the menu today. Doing a very good Dibdo hallway. Gem throwing that Dibdo into a spike so it dies instantly. And Moth down very quickly. Very good fight from Gem. Wow, I didn't even have a chance to go over how bad that boss is. So that boss is weird, but Gem made it look like it's just as easy as it is in the Game Boy Advance version. And another cutscene, of which there are a lot in this game. That's a very good Skullwoods. DT going for the more aggressive approach to that one. So now Gem is going to be picking up a few extra things. We need to get the flippers so that we can do swamp. So we can do the Swamp Palace. Technically, we need them to enter Ice Palace, but we could also technically glitch in there. It is not faster to do. Well, I guess it would be if you didn't have to do Swamp. But DT going for a poke dash. I think he got it. You want to use the Fire Rod to get Moth out of the corners here. Moth sticking to the top right corner there is the worst RNG you can have for that boss, but DT handles it very well. Beating it, moving on. Not too far behind Gem right now. Jim didn't be doing a lot of quick dashes. So the movement in Zoro's domain, which is what I call this screen, I think that's actually what it's called. Probably, maybe, who knows? Is weird because like water is slower than the grass by like a lot. So as you can see there, Gem went a little bit higher to dash on the grass, and that's actually, I believe, faster than taking the shortest possible dashes here. And given $500 for some plastic flippers. And we're going to be moving into that portal that we used to get here. And moving on to the Ice Palace. Oh! Man, these whirlpools are actually the worst. We didn't use this to get here, but... They either have the smallest hitbox when you mean to go in them, or the largest hitbox when you don't want to go in them. Burned 100%. Flippers received for DT. And we're going to see the Ice Palace bomb jump here in a moment, which is one of the largest sequence breaks, I think, in the game. Yeah, probably. We will be completely skipping this entire dungeon, essentially. We do... You're supposed to loop this dungeon a few times, like a lot. And instead, we're just going to hammer there, bounce here, and we have successfully beaten Ice Palace. The puzzle of Ice Palace is completely done now. Gem using the item slide strats. And not doing the penguins. Good, good. And Gem moving on to Cold Stare. So this fight, remember when I mentioned that poke dashes make a later fight really easy, and I mentioned Argus? Well, actually, they made this fight really easy too, if you know what you're doing. Setting up. Oh, and there it is. One poke dash. That's it. That is more than enough to speed up the fight. So you hit an all three with one attack. That is a big deal, actually. And very, very good. Like, holy crap. That was clap, 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 clap. DT going for the Ice Palace bomb jump as well. Looks like he got it with the sword. Yep, very good. Two ways to set that. There's a. Oh, he has to do it again. He's gonna have to get 2 times in a row here. I think he's got it. Yeah. It's actually a little bit spookier, I think, when you're doing that the second time and the pot's not there, because it really looks like you're going to go too far. But he is not very, very far behind right now. Like, if he didn't pick up that powder, he might actually be finishing this dungeon at like the same time. So that's pretty intense when you think about it like that. Sub-hour Ice Palace is very, very good. And on to Swamp Palace. Probably one of the longer dungeons. There's no real way to skip it. You have to go all the way to the back of it, and then all the way to the boss. DT, wow, very clean fight from DT. The pus didn't even move around. They just kind of stayed under his control the whole time. Very, very well done. And starting with Swamp Palace here. I assume both runners will be doing this route based on their PBs. I'm pretty sure DT knows how to do tempered fight. And I also noticed that neither runner has bottles. Bottles is probably the second most common safety next to powder, followed by red mail after that. Autos are pretty massive because fairies cause a death to go from a like 3-minute death to a like 10-second death instead. It's in fact it's even less because you don't have to redo anything. It's just watch the cutscene. Yeah, moving over to the left side, there's a pretty crazy looking room, actually, I find here, right after this room. The top floor here, there's so much going on, it's kind of nuts. These two runners might be high-fiving, though, in the main room. There's just a lot going on in this room, but you can just dash, and you're good. And there we go. Swamp Palace bid key recovered from its chest. We'll begin the boing boing boing. And Jim moving on to the basement. And Gem draining the basement as DT floods it. Kind of funny, actually. They're both in a water cutscene at the same time. I wonder if we're going to see the quick kill strat here, if we're going to see the item dash from Gem. There's a really cool strat that you could do here, but we'll see. Oh, nope, we're not going to see it, unfortunately. Unless DT is going to pull it out. It is a nut strat. And, if you screw up the strat a little bit, you actually lock your sword out, because item dashing does that. I found out. Oh, wow, but we do get the quick kill in the final phase. Fantastic from Gem. DT grabbing his hook shot. And grab the last key here. And this is, I believe, the longest cutscene. So we're gonna see him just kind of sit here. And Gem is just to spin up the last overworld item. And that is the Quake Medallion, which we'll need later. Or sorry, the Ether Medallion, which we'll need for Meyer right now. And DT finishing up the lawn thing here. And DT will now be doing the overworld stuff as well. Quake, and in this case, Ice Rod first. A bad item to forget, FYI. And Meyer, pretty interesting dungeon casually due to how large it is, but speedrunning, we know which rooms are useless and which rooms have what we need, so we'll see very little of this dungeon, actually. And Ether Dawn for DT, so keep in mind that DT got an extra safety, which costed about 40-ish seconds, and has already gotten his Ice Rod, so that's how far apart, that's how much time he spent extra over Gem. But again, safeties do not necessarily mean you lose when you grab them, honestly. In fact, you could win because you took a safety. And now with the King of Samaria, Gem just needs the Ice Rod to beat the game, and we'll get that directly after this. It's just a quick flute and a dash. Grabbing the last small key here from the spike pit. Those fire snakes, whenever they go the right way, always make me happy. Again, putting down the Samaria block. Only required use of the Samaria block. I've never seen that bonk before, but that was super cool. From Gem's side, I've never actually seen somebody bonk there. That was really cool. I like it. We're seeing damage boost strats come out from Gem. Very interesting use of the damageless side there. And fire and arrows. Good strat. Never seen that video strap before, but it was really cool and I kind of want to steal it. DT is not far behind though. Head into the basement. Again, Gem hasn't gotten the Ice Rod yet. So that's one extra thing. DT doing the cool little up and down shot to get past that spike. Doesn't go for the hallway shot with the dash. And DT gonna go in there with full health, thanks to his powder. Very good fight from DT, jeez. Still gets a 2-set. That was a really, really fast double lightning. DT definitely made up some time there. And moving through Turtle Rock. The final crystal dungeon, final dungeon until the Ganon's Tower. And DT entering Turtle Rock now. Again, not very far behind, just a few rooms, although messing up the spin speed there. Masterful way of avoiding that, jeez. That was very good. Wow, very good room from Gem. Still a very, very, very close race here. Now, will either runner go for the mirror shield? Probably not. Bonking over that block there. Gem getting through the dark maze. And DT is, again, not too far behind at all. Good dash there. And Gem is on. Gem will be moving on to the final room of the dungeon. Well, sort of. The final rooms. Very cool strat there from Gem. Gem pulling out very neat little strats here. DT is a bunny. Is now not a bunny. No backdoor strat from Gem. It's totally fine. Backdoor strat's pretty hard, actually. And there it is. Down with the second head. Only two Trinex middle head attacks. And really good fight there. DT having a little bit of trouble with the double pokey room. Still, like only 3 or 4 rooms and the boss behind. It's very, very close. I mean, a death in Ganon's tower could decide this. A fall to Ganon could decide this. This is still an insanely close match. DT using strats to get over that with damage boosting. Sort of. It's sort of a damage boost. You become invincible when you get that the crystal switch spots. I don't know what those are called. The color blocks. And now moving on. Into GT. And now Gem, moving on, gonna be quickly going through here most likely. We're using Boomerang here. I hate that skeleton. Oh, DT. Okay, I thought DT ran out of magic, but luckily got through that. He has no extra magic. But gets through the fight just fine. And Gem moving on to the first of the Light World boss refights, Ice Armos. Once we skip an entire maze there with a bomb. And DT moving on to Ganon's tower, and Gem grabbing the big key and the extra arrows. Usually a good idea. DT will not have to pick up those extra arrows. He is GT basement and a cutscene behind. Him making its way through the gauntlet, as it's called, which is the rooms shortly after the cannonball run. Jim almost getting through the spike hallway. DT get the... Yeah, he's gonna get it here. Yeah, very, very well done. Gem with a very good first two rooms of the escape. Now these conveyor belts are where it gets a little bit trickier, but he does it very well. Doing that dash to get to the other side of the room. He realized, and then getting the slash there and the other slash there. Perfect. Very good gauntlet. One cycle Lamolas, two. So, interesting thing here is that whatever damage DT takes, he can fill up just before Ganon. Gem, on the other hand, there is no real easy way for them to regain hearts. There are a few hearts that will drop, and a few hearts in some pots, but Gem is going to have to do this endgame with the health that they have, because they do not have the powder, or the mushroom. Ooh, gets the magic message. I didn't know you could get that while your magic was refilling. Right, grabbing that extra heart there. So 6 hearts going into the final part of GT. DT, though, is going to be starting the gauntlet with, looks like, 8 hearts. Honestly, those mimics are the hardest part, in my opinion. Yeah, grabbing that extra heart to the left there. And the full magic. And Moldarm 2 down. 3 fights are done. Okay, so GT going into this does not go into the safety room. Whew, that's risky. Oh, very good second room. The dash there worked out very well. Okay, grabbing the heart. Good idea. Good double. Wow, very good Adder 2 fight. Man, Gem's Light World refights were fantastic. DT stopping to get that very, very, very good idea. 7 hearts. Oh, GT does not get the 1 cycle, unfortunately. But does get it on the second. Okay, so Gem now has Ganon. Ganon Hug, I believe, will outright kill Gem right now. Ooh, gets the Trident spin! Oh, I love the Trident double. It's so beautiful every time. Gem playing it very dangerously. Gem moves up to phase 3! Oh my goodness! This is insane! It is not over yet. One fire shot, I believe, kills Gem. One hug kills Gem. That was insane! I did not think Gem would go for the quick phase 2. Okay. We need the torch glitch here. Gets it. You want to get 3 spins each torch phase, leading to 4 torch phases. A fall could still happen, but at this point, it's just gotta get those slashes in. Can't get hugged though. Hugs will kill. Hugs are deadly. Or as our friends in Zelda 1 like to call it, the Hyrule Pile Driver. And down. Very, very clean fight from Gem. What a fight. DT right behind though, going into Adder 2. That is a sub 130. Which is insane in a race setting. That's a 1. That's a double. You can get the triple. No, but only 2 shots left. Wow, what a cool way to hit Adder there. There we go. And DT gonna try to do this as well. Oh, is apparently a PB for Gem too. That's fantastic. Although the red threw me off, but go DT go. This is probably gonna be a PB for DT actually as well. We might see 2 PBs in the same race. Unless I'm misreading. Okay, come on, Ganon, be kind. Oh, too good. Please stop teleporting. Okay, that's phase 4. Okay, come on, DT. That's 1 hit. That's 2. Switch to the fire run. That's 3. 4. 5. Gets tapped by the fire there. Oh, this is very close. And another hit. Okay, one more. Oh, so many hits. And there it is, down. Wow, that was a very good race from both of our runners. GG, if either or both of our runners want to join commentary, please do. I will pin them now. Okay, well, thank you very much, everyone. Both runners, well, Gem doesn't have a mic and DT is declining the interview. So that is it for us. If you enjoyed what you saw, make sure to give the runners a follow if you enjoyed it. Otherwise, my name was Zelness TV. Don't forget to follow Speed Demon 1 through 6 now. Will be active. And continue watching. There are more matches later. Let me pull up the schedule. And so tonight at 6 p.m. we have El Megas versus Andy, but not the Andy that most people think of when they think of Andy. At 8:30 we have Felix TC versus Green Linen Shirt and Strivo versus Philion. And I'm actually commenting that one. I forgot about that. And Ben TZ versus Barrow LTTP. And then Walrus Prime versus Feral Pigman. So those are the races that we have coming up tonight. So stick around. There are also other channels or other races and tournaments. Do /race R to get the racers channels again. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.